So, Miles, give me a little bit about yourself first.
All right. My name is Miles Bonny. I'm a musician and community issues worker. No matter where I live, I'm currently living in New Mexico, and I'm also a father and a husband, and just exploring life with everybody else.
So, how did you get into hip hopping?
Hip hop. So basically, the older I get and the further away I am from New York City, the more I realize how kind of amazing it is that I was there at the time that I was. My dad grew up in Kansas, but went to New York City in the 70s to pursue being a professional trumpet player. And so, because of that, I was born in New York City in 1980. And so, I was right next to and right after the birth of hip hop in the Bronx. And then I grew up in New Jersey, where I listened to and was exposed to a lot of hip hop and jazz and classical. And when I went to Kansas to go to school, I met a bunch of people who were actively making music, and it was really great to be around them. People like Jeremy Nesbitt and Approach and Johnny Quest, and a bunch of people that we collaborated together, and I learned some things and grew a lot, and I've just been doing it ever since.
Oh, when you say New Jersey, I mean I have family in New Jersey as well, so it's kind of cool.
Cool.
um,
Yeah, for sure. Where in New Jersey are they?
Everybody lives in like Washington Township, um, Bergen County area.
I was in Bergen County. I was in Teaneck.
I mean, small world.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was listening to your new song on Apple Music. I really like it.
Thanks.
And then I've
Is
been
that the What About
also
Our Love?
uh no,
Or
it's
which
the
one?
I think it was called Baby Wants Shoes.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, that was fun.
And then I was just listening to tonight was um Welcome to Heaven, 9 beats.
Oh, yeah, that beat. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Thanks.
Yeah, really
Yes,
good.
good. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing so what's cool about those, I guess, is, I used to make a lot of beats when I lived in Kansas City and before then, and then I started using other people's beats when I started singing, but I'm really wanting to get back to using my own beats. And I was actually thinking the last couple of days about doing a project where I'm singing and playing horn, but only over my own beats. So I'll probably do that sometime later this year. But the next project that's going to come out is really that I'm really excited about. It's almost done. Is me and my wife Shore's album, where we're both singing, and there's a lot of great beats. And I only made one of them, but it's a really strong album, and I think it's going to be. I think people are going to like it a lot, and so that'll be out like early summer or late spring. So that's something I'm really looking forward to too. So I'm excited to hear what you think about that when it comes out.
That's exciting. Um, so is it what kind of systems do you use when you're in the studio?
Yeah, so I currently am still using the same thing I used like 10 years ago, which is an older version of Pro Tools. And I've bought some better mics recently. I have a wide variety of microphones. And and that's most of it because since I've done more singing, it's really about how to capture the voice and then how to mix it. Um, and then I'm still making beats on an MPC 2000 XL, which is my favorite, but I haven't done that nearly as much in the last few years as singing. So still using Pro Tools and stuff, but I am gonna also start using more so Logic on a laptop and some newer plugins and things, which I'm just kind of getting back to exploring.
Is Logic is it better than well, I'm using Garage Bands to record
Yeah.
some music, but I mean
hmm Yeah, I think Logic's just like a much bigger garage band. So they're pretty similar as far as how they work, but Logic is has a lot more of everything. So if people ever feel like they're doing all they can in GarageBand, Logic would be a good next step for sure.
That's cool. Well, who's your biggest
Yeah.
influence?
Well, probably my dad because I grew up watching him play trumpet and he exposed me to a lot of music. Um, sometimes it's hard to realize who's had major influences on me. I know that for singing, I was a huge Boys to Men fan in the 90s. So I definitely credit them with helping me want to sing more, even many years before I started to sing in public. Um, but man, I actually watched a thing last night on Netflix that I hadn't watched yet about producers and hip hop history, and huge fan of like Timberland and Pharrell and all those kind of people and Pete Rock. Um, but obviously for singing, D'Angelo was really huge for me, and Roy Hargrove, a really great trumpet player, was also a huge influence for that kind of style for sure.
So, do you do shows in where you're from now, or just
Yeah, yeah, I'm doing shows here. I'm just getting back to doing a lot of DJing, and actually, there's a music school that just opened. Shout out to Weird Bird Music, and this lady Ariel is doing amazing things out here. Just opened it, and I'm going to start teaching lessons there, so that'll be fun. And then eventually, I'll teach lessons online too for people that want to learn trumpet or anything they think I might be able to teach them well. So a lot of DJing, but after our album's out, we're definitely going to do a lot more performing. Me and my wife, Shore and I, because it'll be exciting to share new music with people. And a lot of the songs that I like the most are really like old for myself. I did a lot more work around like 2011, 12, 13 than I have in the last 10 years. So it'll be nice to have some new songs that I can kind of relate to differently. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. And a lot more shows that come out of that, including in Kansas and elsewhere.
now? How old are the students you'll be working with if you do the?
Yeah. Yeah, at the music school, it'll be cool because it's actually going to be kids and adults, which I think is great. So I'm planning on doing like DJing and some beat making, maybe some vocal stuff. There's actually a lot of people that already signed up to learn trumpet, which is cool. We just kind of had the grand opening last weekend, and already apparently there's like 7 students and a bunch for trumpet. So that'll be really fun. I've only given a few trumpet lessons, but I really am excited to help people get started on trumpet and also learn how to kind of develop a tone or a sound that they really like. I think that's kind of one of the most important parts, in addition to eventually maybe learning how to read music and stuff.
My nephew is just. I guess my mom bought him a horn for his birthday, and he's very into
Awesome.
it. But
Cool.
he doesn't know how to use
Yeah,
it. But
that's all right. It reminds me a little bit of, when parents talk about, maybe a little kid getting a drum set for the first time. It can be really noisy, but, unfortunately for them, that's what it takes is you got to start using the thing and getting comfortable with it. So that's cool that he's into it for sure.
yeah, he's only just turned 5, so something new, I guess.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, the earlier the better, and especially you can tell him that if he's ever wants to practice or play and he doesn't have his trumpet with him, he can just take out the mouthpiece and carry that around and buzz on it. And that's a great rate of practice, even if you don't have the trumpet with you. You can just put it in your pocket.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Does your does your child like music too?
Yeah. I have a couple kids and one's definitely into music. I think she has a really good ear for maybe being a producer or manager. I don't know. She doesn't necessarily, she likes to make music, but also she's just really savvy. So she might be good in the business side. And then some of my other kids also are into making music. One of them definitely likes to DJ. The idea of DJing is really exciting. So we'll see. But yeah, there's going to be some music coming out. And even the person who's not into music as much as into soccer, which I also love. So it's always cool to see what kids get into,
Yeah. Are you going to be
for
watching
sure.
the game, the Super Bowl?
I am. I wish I was because I am not a huge sports guy. I love baseball and stuff, but I'm gonna actually be traveling on that day, so I won't be in front of a TV. But because a lot of my family is from Kansas City, they're pretty
Yeah.
excited, and I'm excited for them to watch the game. I'm sure it'll be entertaining as always. It's always such an event, and I want to see Usher.
Yeah.
Apparently, Usher's doing the halftime,
Yeah.
so that'll be cool. I'm
Yeah.
sure it'll be
Yeah.
cool. Are you gonna be watching it?
I guess. I mean, I'm not into. I'm not. I'm not.
Maybe.
I'm not a sports kind of person, but I mean, I'll watch.
Yeah,
I'll watch it if there's.
for
I
sure.
mean,
Yeah, I'm
now
not that into sports, but
I'm just Taylor Swift might be there. I don't know,
I'm sure she will be. It's all the
but
talk.
at the top, you know, she's. I
Yeah,
guess
everybody's
everybody knows she's coming from back from Korea or something.
the Tokyo. I know it's major news, so a lot of people
Yeah.
are excited about that one. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's the process of writing a song or putting a beat together?
for sure. Yeah, I appreciate that question. I guess I have to be in the mood to do it since I don't make music every day. In order to make a beat, I have to. I tend to now like envision the kind of thing I want to make, just so I know kind of what I want to start out with, and that could be a certain energy I want to capture, or create, or certain types of drums, or a certain process. Because there's so many different ways and types of sounds and instruments that people can use to make beats. Right now, at this point in my life, I like to go in knowing what equipment I want to use to get started, and then if it comes to writing a song, I tend to write songs based on the music. So if I already have a beat or something, I tend to listen to that. And some of my best early songs, or I'll just say my earliest songs, I would listen to the beat for a long time and walk around and just think about different melodies and then different words and write it while listening. And that worked out well. But at the same time, some of my most popular songs were freestyles or improvisations. Like Yes, I Do was just a freestyle, just hit record and listen for maybe the first time and just do something. And same with Lumberjack Soul was also not written. So it's interesting to see, what happens regardless of the way that we get started on a song for sure.
Would you see any of your songs played on any TV show that you think of or a movie? That
I'd
would.
be open to it. I think like if I was making music as like a profession full time, I would be more involved in that sort of thing of getting music on TV shows because I don't make most of my money from music. I do it from like community work. That'd be cool if it happened, but I probably make music that I want to make rather than music that I think would do well to be synced or added to like a TV show or video game. But I know a lot of people that do that, and I know that when I'm ready to do it, I have a lot of good people I can ask. Shout out to Farnell Newton, who's a trumpet player that knows a lot about that stuff, and it's a cool thing. It's a good way for musicians to get exposure for sure. So I'm definitely open to it, and I'd love for that to happen someday.
Yeah. I have a friend in Nashville, and she got her songs played on a couple of series like Dance Moms and some other
Yeah,
interesting shows.
yeah, for sure. I do watch those shows, and sometimes my wife and I will like, assess the music. But it's cool. It's hard to make money from music nowadays. So
Yeah,
if
yeah,
people love music and they find a way to do it, more power to them.
yeah.
For sure.
If you had the chance to work with anybody, who would you want to work with next?
Hmm, that's a cool question. I guess two people that come to mind is one of the things that made it easier for me to not make music for a few years is I just was enjoying other people's music, and there's a lot of artists that came out after I did a lot of music releasing that I enjoyed, and that kind of also inspired me to get back into singing. And one of those people is definitely Nick Hakim, who is a singer on ATO Records, and I like his music a lot. So that'd be fun to do something with him. Um, Siobhan Shore, my wife, and I are both friendly with Napalm, I guess is her name, from Hiatus Coyote, and so that'd be cool to collaborate with them someday. Um, but I'm honestly like, I think a lot of it is a lot of music collaborations happen from people liking what you do, and so I definitely want to spend my time right now making new music and releasing it so people kind of know what I'm capable of right now. And I think that through that, I'll reconnect with people and connect with new people, and then new opportunities will come for collaboration or anything else. So I'm excited to get some new good music out because um, I've made music over the last decade, but I haven't really put that much effort into it like I'm
Yeah,
going to. So I'm excited for that.
yeah. Man,
What
I
was the
do.
first project?
What?
Well, I was going to ask, what's the first project of mine that you remember hearing? How did you first hear about my music?
I guess I found you. I think I was following you for years. It just your name popped up,
Cool.
and
Thanks.
then I just kind of listened to it, and I said, "Oh, this is interesting. Never heard anything
Yeah,
like this
cool.
before."
Awesome.
I mean, like, there's a lot of. I love the '90s hip hop, and then when I found your music, I said, "Oh, I like this much better."
Oh, cool. Thank you. That's awesome. Appreciate that. Yeah, it definitely comes from 90s hip hop. Yeah, I was watching again a documentary the other night and they were talking about hip hop mixtapes and tapes or CDs, and I hadn't realized until I watched that how much I was inspired by mixtapes, both actual tapes that I would buy in New York City from people like DJ Clue or also kind of mixed CDs. And I realized like, oh, actually, my first album that I made when I was singing, which was called Smell Smoke, was a CD I just burnt myself, kind of like a mixtape. And then when I was in a group before that, a hip hop group called Sounds Good, we made little CDs and handed them out at our university all day. And so that's where a lot of my music started. And it was cool to make those connections and kind of look backwards sometimes. So thanks for sharing how you found mine and what you thought about it. That's cool to hear.
I mean, I started my radio show on campus, Two Guys in the Sound System, and I brought it back to Kansas City, and then
Awesome.
just keep on interviewing so many people that I love, and then so I
That's
kind
great,
of
man.
and
And
then
which
just
campus did you have this radio show at?
um, Delaware,
Oh, in
Univer-
Delaware. Awesome.
University of Delaware,
Yeah, very cool.
and then I
That's
just
awesome.
kind of just came back and said, let's let's bring it back. I mean, my best friend was a part of it too, but he lives in the East Coast, so there's it's hard to
Hmm.
do shows back and forth. So I said I'll
For sure.
take it over, and do whatever I can do with it.
Nice. That's great. I can relate. There's been a lot of things that I've started and stopped over the years. I even had like a podcast in around like 2002 or something, like a long time ago before it was kind of a more well-known thing. And yeah, I get it. And there's certain things I had a radio show out here called The Record Ceremony, and I even had a version of it on the radio in Kansas City. And so that's something that's kind of like what you're talking about, where I start it, then I stop it, and I start it again in a different form. And so it's kind of cool to keep things alive that way.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple of podcasts. I just do it on the side, and it just keeps me going. I mean, but
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, projects are important.
and then I do music on the side. Like I do spoken word on the side, but that's about it.
Awesome. Do you ever do any spoken word on this show?
No, I'm too afraid.
All right. If you ever want to drop some, I'm excited to hear it.
Well, I do have music on Apple Music and Spotify and all fun
All
stuff.
right, cool. Would I just look for it under your name?
Yeah, I yeah, just Daniel
All right,
One.
cool. Like, awesome. I'll check that out sometime.
And
Thanks for telling me.
the album is called Begin.
Begin. All right, cool. Got it. Thanks for telling me. Yep, I found it already. 2021. Boom. Hey, cool album cover. Did you do that?
I had somebody do that for me.
Yeah, it's a cool collage.
I have the picture on the wall on my in my apartment on the wall.
Yeah, like the real art piece.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. We bought a painting from a painter out here that we're gonna use for our the Shore Miles Bonny album that we're gonna use as artwork too. So it's cool to have a physical version of that for sure. That's awesome.
that other single on that album is called Dream, and
Mm-hmm.
um, that's another album cover. The same person that did
Cool.
the and it's all
Oh yeah.
magazine or newspaper.
Yeah, that's really cool. Looks good. I can see it.
So,
Yeah, awesome.
what's like? Do you have any favorite songs that you've written?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I do. There's certain songs that I still like to perform because I can still relate to them. Some of my older songs I can't relate to anymore because my life's changed. But the first song I wrote as a singer was one called "What It Is I See," and that was I guess it was only released on a EP called "Closer Love." I want to say around like 2009, maybe. And just because that was one of the first songs I wrote, and I spent a lot of time writing it, and I have good memories of where I was and how I felt on the days when I was writing it. Um, that's something that I still really like and I think about a lot is that song "What It Is I See." Another one I still perform is called "Learning to Fly," and that one the music was made by DJ Day, and it's incredible. And I still really relate to that song, and I find that when I perform it, it's still a song a lot of people can relate to also. So that's still one that I like to perform for sure too.
That's the album that I did. Um, Begin. I did that all in college with a friend, and
Wow,
it's
cool.
so yeah. So just got to all the experience of life in college and all the I guess all my issues. I just put it down on paper. Just
Like
good.
I'm a huge fan of getting emotions out of the body. You know, it's okay to feel them, and it's important to get them out so they don't sit around and drive us crazy or hurt us someday. So that's awesome.
And I mean, Dream is a song that I wrote when I was woke up and then it just came to me and I said, okay, it's a real dream and it really happened. So that's a
Wow.
true. And then you got the my true story. That's mostly about my legs, um,
Okay.
because I'm in the wheelchair and I can't help it now. So it's kind of tough.
For sure. I
So
understand. I used to there was a guy who lived outside of Kansas City named Jason Gallagher, and he was in his wheelchair as well, and I used to work with him actually around the time when I started singing. I wrote a lot of songs while I was working with him in his apartment, and so I can understand to a certain degree how that goes.
so it's how it is. I'm doing all right. I'm just getting
Yeah.
around.
Well, yeah, it's a day by day thing, I'm sure. And I actually was just watching one of those episodes of last night of uh Queer Eye,
Uh
and
huh.
they had an episode with this dude in New Orleans who was in a wheelchair, and it was great to learn more about what his experience is like, and for more people to see that as well too. I don't know if you saw that, but it's a pretty good episode.
Yeah, I saw those episodes when they aired.
I know the first. I know I think there's a new season, but that was last season's for sure.
And there was one in Kansas City too.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised it went there for a while. That was cool that they did that
That was very exciting.
for sure. Yeah, no, it's good.
Well,
Good to
where
show
can
people
people?
Kansas City's really like.
Yeah, where can people listen to your music at?
Mm-hmm. So it's on all the streaming stuff. I don't really like. I'm sure it's on YouTube. I don't spend enough attention adding things to YouTube, but I know there's music on there. It's definitely on Spotify and Tidal and Apple Music. Just search Miles Bonny, Milesbonny, and it's also on Bandcamp. And the benefit of Bandcamp is it's not probably exactly what people that are into streaming may use the most, but if you're willing to donate something or download some MP3s, or even if you just pay for the MP3s but don't download them, you can stream projects, and the benefit is the music goes directly to the artist. And um, yeah, so it's everywhere. And I also have vinyl out. And my website is not very well updated, but I'm working on getting like a store together, and we'll be relaunching my website and making things easier to buy. Definitely by this summer. So yeah, if you can follow me at Miles Bonny, Milesbonny on Instagram. That's where I post the most. But yeah, that's about it.
Well, that's cool. You get
Yeah.
everything new and stuff.
Yep. Coming out of the cocoon again. Putting in the effort. I neglected a lot of stuff for a long time, so it's exciting to feel like I'm ready to dive back in and make everything good again.
Yeah. Well,
Sure.
thank
And
you
thanks
for.
for interviewing me, man.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming on. I was very
For sure.
excited.
Cool. Well, I know you've told me about the podcast a bunch online, so it's good to be here and good to have a conversation with you.
All right. Well, I'll let you know when this is all up, and maybe up tomorrow, today, later tonight.
Awesome. Yeah, let me know. Yeah, take care, man. All the best to you in your music, and thanks for listening.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
All right.